Hey guys, we're going to be looking at factoring trinomials with the negative constants. Okay, I'm going to give you two examples. So what applies to the first will apply to the second. Okay, so here we go. Alright, this is my trinomial. Let's set up the skeleton. X minus X minus. Okay, so my only job is to fill in the blanks, and let's review how to do that. On this side we'll have negative 15, on this side we'll have 82, and I am to find two numbers that multiply to give me this guy. Take those two numbers, add them, see if they give me a match here. Okay, so we'll put a question mark. Who will be the winner? Well, I already know the answer, of course, because I have experience. So I'm going to try one wrong one. Let's say 5 times 3. Okay. Now, if you have to produce the whole list, it's up to you. We have all different paces. Okay. The main thing is this works, and you must at least know how to use it so you can maybe help somebody else. Anyhow, negative 5 times 3 is negative 15. Negative 5 plus, put it, negative 5 plus 3 equals negative 2. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch the signs. Now I have 5 times negative 3 is negative 15, and when I take 5 plus negative 3, I now get a 2, and I can stop right here at this stage. Okay, because I have the two factors, okay, that'll produce this product and this sum. So I'll squeeze in a 5 here, plus 5, and the negative 3 in there, and that is the answer. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and look at another example here. X squared minus 5x minus 24. Alright, in this case, I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, there's the skeleton, x minus, x minus. I must fill in the blanks. Although some of us can do the mental math, we want to once again use this table so we can help one another in class. So here goes the negative 24, here goes the negative 5, and let's begin. Two numbers that multiply to give me him. Let me try 8 times negative 3. Okay, now we can afford to just add them, so I can check here really quick. So if I have 8 plus negative 3, I get a positive 5, close but not yet. I'm now going to switch it to negative 8 times 3, which gives me negative 24, and if I add them, I do get negative 5. Okay, so these become my winning combination. So I'll put a negative 8 here and a 3 there. Okay, this might be a little too fast, but again, we went a lot slower in the other videos that have very related material. Alright, let's go and take a look at these types of examples that involve factoring the difference of two squares. Now again, there are multiple approaches, but in this case we want to make it or use our prior knowledge as much as possible. So let's take a look at this one. Okay, it looks different, so all we have to do is rewrite it so that it looks similar to the other ones, so we can continue as is. Okay, notice there's no guy in the middle with an x, right? So I'll squeeze one in by simply putting plus 0x, right? 0 times x is 0, so it kind of disappears anyways, but now we can actually continue with the same process. Alright, so it is a factoring. So I have my skeleton. I'm going to use a table. Okay, although some of us can do this in our heads, this pretty much illustrates what's happening in your head anyways. So here we have negative 64, and here I have 0. So the trick here with the difference of two squares is you're looking basically for the for the same number and its opposite. So if I go 8 times negative 8, I get negative 64, and if I go 8 plus negative 8, I get 0. So this already is my winner. Okay, so that's kind of your tip when you see difference of two squares. You're looking for a number and its, we can call it I don't know, additive inverse perhaps. Alright, so let's go ahead. Now that I have the winners, I'll put in the plus 8 and I'll put the negative 8 here, and I'm done. Okay, let's go ahead and try another type of problem, which is this one. Alright, now if you look at this one, you've got a variable squared and a variable squared up front and in the back. So what you have to do is you have to adjust your skeleton so that now it looks like this. Okay, now I may have kind of jumped the gun here a bit because it doesn't really look like the problems we've been doing. So check this out. I'm going to put a 1x squared up front. So now I've got a number up front, which helps. I don't have anybody in the middle, so I'm going to do the same thing as last time, except now I have a 0xy in the middle. Okay, and at the very end I'll put a minus 1y squared. So it went from something kind of a bit more intimidating to something more familiar because we have 1, 2, 3 terms. So now I'm going to go ahead and continue, and I'm going to put the negative 1 here and the 0 back there. So two numbers that multiply to give me negative 1. So 1 times negative 1 gives me negative 1, and 1 plus negative 1 gives me 0. So this apparently is my winning combination. So I'll just toss them in here. 1 and oops, plus 1 and negative 1. Okay, and let's do one last one here. 2x squared minus 8. Now this one, okay, this is more for the trained eye. You should detect that there is a what was that, GCF, greatest common factor. Okay, so as you look at these, you're like, okay, I can factor out a 2. X squared minus 4. Why? Because if you notice, we really haven't been working with expressions that have something other than a 1 up front, so that's what we want to avoid. Okay, so this 2 now is kind of, we'll put it way out here on the outside. Okay, I'll put brackets so I can just deal with the inside, which is the x squared. Now normally we have something in the middle, so I'll put the 0x and the minus 4. Now the whole purpose of these brackets is so this is your focus. This is the math that you've become really good at recently. This 2 is part of this product, but we're leaving it out there so it doesn't really confuse us. Okay, so we can kind of work with this trinomial, which happens to have a 1 here, okay, because we factored out the 2. So I'm going to put the 2 again. I'll put the brackets, and now I can go ahead and put the skeleton, right? X minus, okay. Once again, the whole only purpose for the brackets is so that we can not forget that 2, and we can focus on the inside just like we have been. So to prove it, let's go ahead and put a negative 4 here and a 0 there, right, from here. And I'm going to go ahead and go with negative 2 times 2, which is negative 4, and negative 2 plus 2 gives me 0. Okay, so I have my winning combination, negative 2, positive 2, and there it is. Guys, thank you for your time. See you tomorrow.